Okay, here we go, folks. We're trying again. I really don't know what happened last time, but I spoke for 16 minutes, presented, and for some reason the video cut out after about 2 minutes. So I basically wasted 15 minutes of my life and 15 minutes of yours if you watched the whole thing, which I'm assuming you didn't because it was black and muted. I'm now in a laundry room, so it's nice and cool. No outlets, though, but I do have internet. Let's get to this, folks. Bradley Raffensperger, Secretary of State for Georgia. By the way, this is Addy, guys. This is your Peach State update. And we are going to look over this article that I just wrote with help from investigative researchers, uh, election research analysts, and independent investigative journalists Kevin Moncla and Joe Rossi. Now, that being said, I am going to share this. I think maybe not. I don't really know, folks. Okay, here we go. This is addyads.substack.com. Raffensperger admits Fulton County made mistakes in the 2020 election count. I'm going to stay on this stream. I'm going to be checking comments. I'm going to be seeing if we're okay. I'm not going to orate the whole thing like I did last time because I'm just going to give you the raw data here. Ryan Germany, attorney for Brad Raffensperger, admitted in an email on July 29th that Fulton County indeed had made mistakes in their audit of the 2020 presidential election. As part of the allegations that you made, our investigators looked at the alleged violations and found that Fulton did make mistakes in their audit counting and reporting. Those are what have been referred to the AG's office, Germany said in a July 29th email response to former PepsiCo executive and current Georgia Technical College professor Joe Rossi. And this actually started a ways back. For those that followed my Batches Loaded Report story, the week of the Georgia primary election, May 24th of this year, I was featured on The Absolute Truth with Emerald Robinson, who also has been doing great work in Georgia, albeit from afar. Rossi sent an email to Raffensperger on the 24th requesting he put his election integrity hat on and agree to requested meetings by Senator Larry Walker and Shaw Blackman, who's also from Perry. So it seems that little Perry, Georgia, may be putting the entire nation on its back. Shaw Blackman, state senator, Joe Rossi, leading this investigative charge, and Jack James, attorney, who also partnered with Mr. Rossi. All are Perry, Georgia natives or from that area thereabouts. Rossi had written to Raffensperger's office for several days before he finally received a response, and he called him out for going to D.C. to meet before the January 6th committee, saying you should have time to meet with a citizen of Georgia that has investigated the November 3rd, 2020, and has been supported by the governor's team, by Governor Kemp, as factual. I'm confident when we meet, you can save the governor's office and the state election board a lot of time by answering our questions. Rossi's a chemical engineer by trade, and he addressed two irregularities in his 84-page complaint to the state election board: the addition of votes to a voting report and missing poll tape tabulators. And we're live here. We got one person in the house, so that's cool. In a hearing of March at the Gold Dome, State Election Board Chairman Matt Mashburn responded swiftly. And this is on the 16th of March of this year. When Rossi brought up Raffensperger's office, you're out of order. The Secretary of State is not a respondent to this complaint. And that was decided by Mashburn, he said in that hearing. So you really have, this goes back to 2020 because obviously the election, but this right here is the state of Georgia Assistant Attorney General Charlene Schwartz McGowan. And she called Attorney Jack James's office at 10:42 a.m. on December the 3rd, 2021, just a few weeks after Kemp's November letter. She left him a message, and eventually they connected the next day. And she said, according to James, she wanted to assure me that an investigation would be held in the matter. I said we were concerned about an independent investigation. How can the Secretary of State's office investigate itself? She went on to tell James she was unaware if an investigation had been started or indeed if an investigator had even been appointed. Relevant information from the Georgia Constitution, OCGA 21-2, 50, 6, and 15b states, and instructs the Secretary of State to receive from the superintendent the returns of primaries and elections and to canvass and compute the votes cast for candidates and upon questions as required by this chapter. Additionally, it characterizes the Secretary of State as the state's chief election official. Comment from Garland Favorito said, well, Ryan Germany admitted that Fulton County had errors in the hand count audit conducted on November 14th and 15th of 2020. He still has not admitted there were 7 falsified tally sheets that recorded 850 to 0 fake Biden votes, nor has he admitted that all ballot images required to produce the Fulton 2020 election results were electronically altered prior to certification. The cover-up in the Secretary of State's office continues. Comment here. Good question. If they get to investigate themselves, no wonder nothing ever moves forward. It's very interesting that the Secretary of State, who is the highest office in the land of Georgia, and ultimately, as chief of elections, responsible for elections in Georgia, they're putting that responsibility on a county instead of the state. So very interesting. Bill White, Buckhead City Committee CEO, is hoping the GBI, FBI, AG, and DA investigate further this finding. Barrow County GOP Executive Committee member Laura Petku told Public Intel that hopefully Carr does his job this time. DeKalb County Republican Chairman Marcy McCarthy had her take. For over 2 years, people have been called liars, conspiracy theorists, and been threatened for stating that the 2020 elections and then the recount was improperly facilitated in Fulton County. A recent email from Georgia's Secretary of State Attorney Ryan Germany to Joe Rossi has now confirmed that the negligence and violations that occurred during the 2020 elections has in fact been confirmed as true and factual. It is no secret that Fulton County has had continual issues with delivering election results year after year. This is nothing new. It has been going on for years, if not decades. What is more egregious is that no one is being held accountable for Fulton County's systemic failure to deliver faith, integrity, and trust in elections. And I want to get this one, make it short and sweet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Pardon me about what happened earlier. I don't know why. I think it might have been my computer connection. Stay frosty, folks. Buy me a coffee. Follow me on Twitter, Telegram, Facebook, Addy Ads, One Addy Ads, and YouTube, but preferably Rockfin. So please go check that out. Give me some subscriptions if you would be so kind. If you don't want to subscribe, try sharing the workout if you enjoy it or if you think someone else may find it useful and may learn something from it. Living paycheck to paycheck as a investigative journalist, reporter, etc. So if you want to buy me a coffee, feel free to do that as well. Although I have to say I'm going to spend it on tea because I don't drink coffee, but it just rolls off the tongue better. Stay frosty.